Welcome to Tech Savvy. I'm Leigh Newman, and I'm the Executive Director of Campus Operations for the LaGrange campus of West Georgia Tech. And again, every time I start the episode, I tell you how much fun we're having out there and how exciting the excitement that's going on. And today, our special guest star is from the Think Academy. But before we get into that exciting subject, I want to make sure that everybody knows about our important dates that are going on on campus. Financial aid and admissions priority deadline for summer is on April the 9th. So that means, as I've told you in the past, if you don't have your paperwork complete and correct by that date, then the chances of you having any financial aid for summer are slim, and it's going to be tough for you to be able to start unless you're willing to pay out of pocket. May 18th, classes start for summer. The 25th of June, another financial aid admissions priority deadline, and that's for fall. So you need to have all your information ready for the fall semester. And of course, we'll be glad to work with you in financial aid and help you with all that. And then fall semester starts on August the 17th. So we've got a busy summer ahead of us. And if you're interested in starting summer, you need to get yourself down to the campus and get your application done and enroll, so we can help you go through the process. So these are all so important. Another thing we've got coming up is every third Tuesday of the month we have a tour tech on Tuesday, and it happens at 10 o'clock in the morning and at 5:30 in the afternoon. So if you're interested in having a tour, get a briefing on the college and what all we're doing, and get a head start on the process, come see us. I think the next one will be in April, so check our website. We've got a schedule on our website, which is www.westgatech.edu. Also, put on your calendar, we've got a Friends and Family event coming up on the 30th of May, and I will continue to give you details about that, but it'll be a big day out at the campus, and we'll show off all our programs and all our new building facilities, and there'll be activities for students and children and food, and it'll be a big day. So put May 30th down on your calendar. Okay, let me introduce my special guest star today. Her name is Jennifer Pike, and she's the Registrar and Career Advisor.
It's been changed to Dual Enrollment Coordinator.
Dual Enrollment Coordinator. Well, that is, I'm so excited about that.
That.
Yes, I like that. But you do Registrar too, right?
I do.
Okay. Of course, we've talked about on past episodes the excitement we're feeling out at the college, because we're going to have a bunch of high school students on starting in August, and we're really proud of the opportunity and looking very forward to having some more dual enrollment students there. And this is a real busy time for Think Academy, because they are in the construction business right now, and we're also registering and testing and setting up schedules for high school students. So, Ms. Pike, tell us about yourself and why you're here, at this point in time.
Okay. Well, my background is K-12 education. I started out as a high school science teacher, worked at Callaway High School for about 10 years, and then went into administration. So I was an assistant principal registrar at Gardner Newman for 4 or 5 years, and then at LaGrange High School, an assistant principal and registrar for a couple of years. And now I'm at Think.
Is it dual enrollment coordinator? I'm so excited.
The reason I'm at Think is because we need Think. The reason that I'm at Think is because I was kind of in the beginnings of the conversations about courses that could be offered and how this could work with our school system. And all I could see is, oh my gosh, there are so many students that I see right now in our building, so many students that I've taught. There's my child who need this opportunity. So I kind of fell in love with the idea of it. Kind of stepped away, and the program was developed. It was birthed, and then then I decided now I could really be a part of it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm there. I'm so excited about the opportunity.
Well, from your perspective as a parent, as an administrator, as even an instructor, a past instructor, what is Think? What does it? Why is it so wonderful? I mean, I think it is too, but I just want to know your perspective.
I think that it's wonderful for different reasons depending on who you are. I think from a community perspective, it's wonderful because everything that we're doing is aligned with the needs of the community. You know, this started with a steering committee that consisted of 108 people who said, we need this. And some of the reasons cited were that students who go to college, whether it be a four-year university, to the technical college, or to the workforce, that they just didn't have the skills, not so much the academic skills, but they didn't have the soft skills, they didn't have the work ethic that was going to be required of them. So because it's a community-sponsored and community driven project, I think that's a huge benefit.
I agree.
Also, the programs that we're offering, right now we're offering 17 different pathways. The 17 pathways that we're offering at Think are the pathways that came from a needs assessment survey that businesses in our community took. And they said, these are the jobs that are going to be opened, these are the courses, these are the skills that these students will need. So we developed our course offerings based on that needs assessment survey, in hopes that we're going to have students who, when they graduate high school now, who are going to be better prepared for whichever route they take. And essentially, they're going to be more competitive in a global market with skills that are transient.
They'll go anywhere. It's perfect for what we need here.
It is.
Perfect.
And you know, our school system, I'm a huge advocate of Troup County Schools. I think that we have one of the best school systems in existence. Wonderful teachers, wonderful students, wonderful administrators. And the programs that are offered in those schools are wonderful for students, but not wonderful for all students. So I think that with being that with it being a different environment, it will be a different type of learning. All of the learning will be project-based, hands-on. So I think that we're going to be able to reach a certain group of students, the students who are those kinesthetic, hands-on learners. I've got a child that way, and I think that we're going to be able to reach them in a way that it's just not possible to do in our traditional schools. So you know, I think for everybody there are benefits to it. Well,
I'm certainly one of those that learn better by doing than listening. You know, I want to see it happen, and that's how a lot of students are. And I mean, the way you've described it, it's really going to help. It has to help our dropout rate.
I can't see any way that it will not help.
Because we'll get those students that were at risk and get their interest, and then they'll be involved.
You know, I don't have the data to support this, so I'm just going to say it. It's my opinion based on my experience. Many of our students who do end up dropping out, they certainly do not drop out because they can't meet the academic requirements needed. They drop out because they're not interested.
They don't
drop
want
out.
to.
No,
they don't see any benefit in it.
They don't, and they do not see how the textbook environment relates to real-world situations and how it will affect their life. So they drop out due to lack of engagement. When you have a curriculum that is essentially 100% project-based, there's no way that a student cannot get in there and be actively engaged in the learning. And I think that it's those students who drop out because of lack of interest, lack of motivation. Those students are the ones who are going to be graduating from high school based on a new style of learning. Well,
of course, another real carrot for these students is employment at the end of the whole process, because we've got so much buy-in from the local industries. I mean, the Caterpillar situation is unheard of.
Yes.
And they're working with us to make sure that their instructors are involved in the process, in our training, in the welding classes, because they're so desperate for welders. And then our cat night proved that there's a lot of interest out there too.
A lot.
Caterpillar was great to host us and Think Academy out there to talk about how they want to be involved. And I think the parents really enjoyed the tours and all too.
That's what I've heard. I hated that I couldn't be there that night.
I think we need to have cat night everywhere.
Well, and you know, I can see cat night growing into this type of this type of activity for other people.
Industries, yeah. Well, see, I think Saywan's already said they'd be interested in helping. So, I mean, that's just what we need, because that shows that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Parents can't help but be excited about them being their student has a future. When sometimes you just don't think, but it's all working out well.
It is, and there is a video out there. It would be great if you could show it on the show. I'll send it to you. But there's a video out there. We share it with our parents of 8th grade students. But it's a video that talks about the global market change and industry changing. It's about an 8-minute video. But one of the things it says, it cites some data from Harvard University. But what it says is that our workforce is changing. The skills required are changing so much that jobs that are going to be available in 10 to 15 years from now have not even been created yet. And we were living in a time when the push was go to a 4-year college, go to a 4-year college. We still think that's important for many kids. But we're still pushing all of our students that way. But the new data tells us that if students really want to be employable, that their best chance to be in the most competitive, in a highly competitive field, is to bring with them a college degree and a skill certification set. One ratio I can cite from that video is it's 1:2 to 7 ratio. It says for any student who comes out with an associate degree, there will be one job waiting for them. It might not be a job in their area, but there's one job. For a student who comes out with a 4-year degree or higher, there's 2 jobs waiting for them. But any student who comes out with a degree and a certification program or a skill, they have 7 jobs waiting for them. So that's one I do feel comfortable citing from the video. But I'll send you the video. It's amazing. It's, you know, we're in a changing world, and we've got to train our students to be able to train with them and have transient skills.
Stay ahead of the curve.
Yes, yes.
Well, we're done with the first block. We'll be back in a few minutes to continue our conversation with Jennifer Pike from Think Academy.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Tech Savvy. We have Jennifer Pike here today, and she is very enthusiastic about her job at Think Academy, which, hallelujah, is the dual enrollment coordinator. And so we'll be working real closely to make sure that we get the students that are in high school that are eligible for dual enrollment, which means they'll be taking college courses along with getting high school credit. And when they graduate, they'll be so far ahead into the next level. And it's a whole lot less expensive.
Yes.
and better value to do it this way than to wait until and go to a four-year college and maybe the student decides, maybe I'm not interested in history or, you know, social sciences or anything like that. So it's such a win-win-win situation. Jennifer, we were talking about the need and the end results of Think Academy, and we're going to have people, our graduates will be ready to go to work somewhere, and will be ready to go to college. And those that are in dual enrollment, they will be used to the college environment because they will be, a lot of them will be sitting next to traditional students in our college. They'll be adults, non-traditional students, and so they're gonna, it's gonna be a maturing opportunity for a lot of students, and I'm just thrilled for that.
And you know, you mentioned the work opportunities after this. When we talk about our business partners, when we talk about Caterpillar, as you mentioned, Caterpillar, Saywan, Nesper, Kia, Georgia Power, so many of them. And these people, professionals from these different organizations have committed to working with our Think Academy and I think with West Georgia Technical College. And so not only are there going to be jobs available, there are already going to be mentorships that are taking place. So I think that there will be students in various programs who are targeted based upon what they've shown, and that there'll be a job waiting for them in a place where they've already been working with this company for some time. So
it won't be so intimidating to those students about. I think one thing that I really was excited about the Caterpillar event that we had when the parents came out. Of course, the students were new to manufacturing environment anyway, but when the parents came out there and they realized how clean, I mean, it has to be clean, manufacturing is today. It is not like it used to be with
the old textile mills. It's very different.
It's not, and it's very high tech.
Yes.
Too. So it's not just the manual labor as we used to know it. Production is high tech these days.
Yes.
And that's what we're here for.
It is. It's exciting. It's exciting.
I'm so excited. Well, tell us a little bit about the administration part of it. Who's eligible for Think Academy?
This fall it will be any student who is in the 10th, 11th, or 12th grade. They're eligible to attend Think Academy as long as they are meeting their academic requirements for graduation. So if they're on track to graduate, then all they have to do is sign up for the class, and that basically puts them there.
Sign up with whom?
They'll sign up with their high school counselor. Of course, it's a new program, so there are many questions that you know, people are not 100% sure of the answers to. So their first place to go is their high school counselor, and they need to just let their high school counselor know, I'm interested in this program and I want to go to Think Academy. I kind of take over from there, but if they meet with a high school counselor and they feel like there are some questions that were left unanswered, you know, I really would urge anybody to contact me, you know, because I do have that experience. I'm pretty good at being able to think outside of the box at times and being able to explore various educational opportunities that can allow them to do different things. That is so valuable
to the process. It is so valuable. Give me an example of a question that a frequently asked question that comes from students or parents or?
One of the frequently asked questions that I get from students is students do not understand how they can only take 5 classes a day as opposed to 7 and earn the same number of credits. And I get that from parents a lot too. The difference is that the high schools are on a traditional schedule, so they have 7 periods a day. Students take 7 classes a day. That's a lot to study for. But we're on the block schedule. So rather than taking, and I'm just gonna say 10th grade lit, instead of a student taking 10th grade lit all year long to earn a full credit, they will take a longer block of time with us, but they'll earn the 10th grade lit credit in December.
Wow.
So it's taken them half as long to complete a credit. So so students will only take 5 classes a semester as opposed to 7, but they still end up with the same number of credits at the end of the year.
And so they would take this lit over at the Think Academy?
Well, it depends on what it is. The way it's going to be set up are students who come to Think, they will take one class that is related to the career pathway that they choose, and then they will take an academic course to accompany that. So throughout the course of the year, they will earn 4 credits at Think. They'll earn 2 for their pathway courses, and then 2 academic credits.
That is amazing. So they could come for all morning.
They'll be there in the morning or the afternoon.
Right, right. So the blocks basically is 2 blocks.
It is.
Morning block and afternoon
Yeah,
block.
they'll have like a first period block or a second period block.
That is a win-win situation altogether.
It is.
If they can sit still for that long.
Well, they're not going to have to sit still.
Okay.
They're not going to have to sit still.
They will
That's
be
one of the
doing
differences.
right.
That's right. They're going to be up and moving and doing hands-on projects.
Good.
We're also going to be, we're implementing a pilot as one of the pilot programs for a soft skills curriculum that was developed by UGA. So the soft skills component will be embedded into each of our course curriculums.
That's kind of like what we do at the technical college.
You know, that's one of the things that we hear from industry.
Right.
Those are the main skills that the students are missing. So soft skills will be 30% of their grade. So one thing that we know without a doubt, we are so confident that if the student doesn't get anything else, which they'll get a lot more, but if they don't get anything else, they leave with an understanding of the soft skills that's going to make them better students at a university, better students at a technical college, and definitely more employable.
See, that's always been the big complaint is, you know, just get me somebody, warm body, that knows that they play a major part in the whole process, and so they have to be there.
Right.
And it's very important for somebody to be explained it to that way. And I think that's a problem sometimes, is they don't know that they're very important in the whole scheme of things, when it comes to manufacturing especially.
Yes, and you know, some of the, because our society has changed, and you know, change is natural, and our society has changed, but we live in a different age. And I think sometimes when we look at teenagers and we look at, maybe it's the way they dress, maybe it's the way that they address people who are older than them, I don't think it's always a disrespect, it's a lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge.
It's a lack of knowledge.
Not seeing the example.
And I think it's important that we go back to teaching those. And I think the high schools do teach them in their CTAE courses.
Right.
They're embedded there. But we're going to have a greater focus on it because we are piloting the program from UGA.
That's so exciting. And of course, you know, the Think Academy is definitely going to be the Gold Star Award for the state, I think. You know?
I do too.
Don't argue with me.
No,
Don't argue with me.
I agree.
All right, so you've told me pretty much why a high school student would be interested in taking it. I mean, it sounds like the ideal opportunity to really make a change and see the real world ahead of them. You know, that sounds exciting. Tell me about you said you had how many pathways?
We have 17 different pathways right now on our course offering.
I think there's 5 main. How's that work?
I think that the way that they're divided up is we have, and I don't know if it's 5, we have architectural, drafting and design, we have business, and within business there are 2 or 3 pathways. Then we have finance, there are 2 or 3 pathways, marketing with 3 pathways under it.
Right.
And then we have an energy pathway, and then we have our STEM pathways, which encompass engineering, energy, and mechatronics. So those are like the umbrellas, and then within those we have the other pathways.
Right. Well, healthcare.
And healthcare, sorry.
I mean, that's
a huge one.
Is that the hot pink colored area, that wall upstairs?
No, it's the green area.
It's the green area.
It's the green area.
It is so impressive up there. It just is wonderful.
And I don't know if you noticed this when you went upstairs to visit, but did you notice in the green area it's divided into a classroom setting up front, and the back is actually going to be an emergency room. It's the largest one that's in the state of Georgia. That's in a CCA. It's the largest emergency room. We have the the standard hospital bathroom that will be put up there to help teach students how to transport. We're going to have a triage station, and then we're going to have the rooms. So talk about hands-on learning.
It's going to be like you're there.
It's going to be like you're there. And even the green, I told Dr. Williams, our director, I told him the other day when we were walking up and looking, I said, you know, I think even the green is so fitting for this environment, because I think of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and you walk in
and it's green.
It's green. It is. So even to the point of the color, I think is realistic.
That is wonderful. We're about to run out of time, but I think the what we found out that I told you earlier before we started taping about the one of the big barriers we've always heard is the students can't pass the assessment to get into a dual enrollment class. And we tested at Callaway, I think the first of this week, and all but one student passed. And then the one that didn't pass has only got like 2 or 3 points to do, so they'll be able to retest and beat that. That is amazing.
That's phenomenal for us. That's phenomenal for West Georgia Technical College, and it's phenomenal for the students. You would be better to speak on this than me, because I only come from one high school. But have you ever had a success rate like that?
No,
Wonderful.
no. And of course we have the boot camp that I think we have 100 people, 100 students, high school students in boot camp right now, because it's online. They're doing it, and it's proven that everything is working.
Everything's working. And you know, this is our first year, so as we move forward, it's only going to get better and better. We're going to perfect it.
Don't give us a barrier. We're going to get over it.
We are.
We might jump over it, we might go around it, but we'll get it out of the way.
We are.
We are.
It's exciting.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. Will you please come back?
Yes, yes. Thank you for having me.
Well, there's so much good stuff going on, and I love sharing it with our viewers. They need to know about it.
They do.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on Tech Savvy today, and we'll see you next time.